You are not. Even in Paris, you know. At Paris, no. Paris almost full. Buenas tardes. Hola. Hola. Bueno, de nuevo, bienvenidos y muchas gracias por acudir. La verdad que sorprendido y agradecido de que tenga respuesta el ciclo. Llegamos al final, es la última conferencia y hoy viene Paul de NP2F, que son estudio que está entre Marsella y París, y presentará a Maria Giramé de Bajet Giramé, que la hará muy bien, mejor que yo.
Bueno, gràcies Moisès, gràcies al COAC, gràcies Cultura, a tothom. Avui amb NP2F es tanca el cicle d'Europa Europa 2, un recorregut per 8 estudis europeus, actuant d'alguna manera, como decía Moisès, com un sismògraf de l'arquitectura europea contemporània. Un amic em va suggerir que avui us portés una ampolla de cava o de xampany francès per obrir abans de començar a ser l'última sessió, però millor les copes les fem tots a dalt al final. A la primera edició d'Europa Europa 2, Europa Europa, el 2017, la sèrie es va tancar amb un nou número de quaderns on el Moisès feia l'epíleg, apuntava que en aquell moment ens trobàvem davant d'un nou paradigma cultural, on d'una tradició exclusivament lletrada i tècnica, en poc temps, havien passat a un món eminentment visual, on les imatges deixaven de ser representacions per convertir-se en importants contenidors de significat. La pregunta ara, si aquest cicle es formalitza al final amb un quaderns, que podríem animar el COAC a fer-ho, és quines serien les conclusions que podríem extreure d'aquest Europa Europa 2, no? I quins són els trets distintius amb la primera versió. Per mi, NP2F, i ja sap que feia una intro en català, i ara parlarem en anglès perquè ens entenguem, culmina aquest segon cicle exemplificant moltes de les qualitats que des d'aquí associem a l'arquitectura contemporània centreeuropea, recollides al llarg de totes aquestes sessions que han omplert setmana a setmana l'auditori on ara estem i anem a poc omplint. No se'm sent gaire bé, oi? Sí? Vale. Bienvenue, Paul. That's all my French I can say and I will use tonight. So it's a pleasure to introduce NP2F, one of the key players of the current French architectural scene. When looking at your work, you understand that doing more with less, is not a constraint, but a provocative challenge to our role as architects in contemporary societies, and also a chance to surprise by unexpected enjoyment, leisure, and delight. NP2F work navigates from architecture to urban design. Their comfort zone is the city itself, uncovering opportunities in between spaces to enhance social exchange and what they call healthy activities, introducing the leisure and well-being at the heart of contemporary urbanity. With an extensive knowledge of production of sports spaces like a sport cathedral in Bordeaux or the arena in Paris, they have managed to reintroduce these activities to everyone's reach. But for me, in a way, their work on sports and leisure is just an excuse to create buildings with generous and flexible spaces designed for performance and allowing the freedom of free use. They operate between a very disciplinary, strict order and the delight of introducing some improvisation between different scales, between different programs, or better said, improvising certain programs. Their projects are the result of a delicate balance of open structures, specific form, and purpose services. For these and many more things I could say, I believe NP2F synthesizes an intelligent and forward thinking to contemporality. So, all yours.
Hola. Do you? Yeah. Good evening. Thanks, Moses and COAC, for the invitation. I'm really proud to be here tonight. Thank you for the introduction. Don't have any more lot of things to say more. I would say everything is almost done. But I will try tonight to speak exactly of what you say, like public buildings, how architecture can be half design, half urban, and how the scale mixed up in our work. So we are. So I'm Paul Maître de Vallon. We are 4 partners. We are based in Paris and Marseille, south of France, and we work on a lot of different kind of projects, essentially sport, because we. Because we like the idea of what sports produced during the city. I will explain it later. So I call the lecture public building, but it also could have been a city building or common building. As for us, it's really important that every building speaks about over the scale, and it's not like public building buildings which host public, but more how a project can speak with a larger consideration and more about uses and go out of its scale, not in a context questions. It's for sure about context, but more how it can be generous and dedicate of the sensation or climate of a city. So this, so we like to mix the scale, and this desires to mix scale led us a few years ago to explore sports and play in the city, which is this rare moment when uses emerge quite directly from space. So in 2014, we proposed a research to Pavillon L'Arsenal, which is like a Parisian Institute of Architecture, on the typology of sport in Paris, how sports are practiced in one of the more dense cities in the world, and how sport can become a true ingredient in shaping the common of a city. So traditionally, architecture or sport is considered as a technical topic drawn by specialist architects, but we had the intuition that it could be a subject of research and experimentation for architects, as in our view, it's a very urban typology. So with super varied urban situation, starting from spontaneous practice, like personal practice, like running, to infrastructure like this one, which is the Parc des Princes. And for sure, this research was a pretext, as you said, to talk about urban architecture, about spatial situation that creates the atmosphere of a city, its climate, and its specificity. So we do believe that at the end, architecture is a urban matter. Architecture needs for us to have a urban intention in its genre. It is a convergent moment of space feeling on city feeling about climate. So the first project is in Bordeaux. It's a sports project. It's in south, so Bordeaux, south of France. You probably know it's close to Spain, and so it's out of the city in a neighborhood which is in total renovation. It was a old fabrics district, and the city asked us to create a sport facility, a building which hosts a sport facility. But everything around is new, and there was a urban planner, a urbanist, like architect and urban planner. Yeah, not sure of my English. I'm sorry for this moment. There will be a few, and so he wanted like a building that have the power to, the possibility to activate public space, as everything is going to be new and mostly around the dwellings. So for a vertical sport facility, we obviously have in mind the CES Pompey from Lina Bobardi, which is largely made of a platform, which is 100% dedicated of sport, and which is also largely open to the city with these red windows. So we propose a building that is very open to outside, a kind of a layering of urban plans, which host a large variety of sport fields. So like golf, climbing, and etc. Here you can see the structural principle of the building, which might appear really simple. It's like a precast building. Everything is really regular. But when we look at the section, the reality, construction reality appear, and we can see that it's really, it's a lot. The regularity is stopped a lot of time to host space which are really larger and some really tinier, and a large difference of events. So we have, and so the building which is built is like 20 meters high, and on top of it there is this golf practice cage which doubles the size of the building. So it's a 40 meters high building at the end. So here is the ground floor, which there is like a few space which are inside, I would say, like restaurant and some shops on the right. But most of the building is an outside program, and like only 30% of the building is so 70% of the building is outside, and we like that the plan is totally not efficient. There is so 3 different kind of space: the heated one, 30%, the one with a programmation with which is something like 50% more, and 20% of the surface which is built is like it's only circulation, large circulation, dedicated to like improvisation and something that we can't manage, but the life of the building. So the 3rd floor, and we like that this plan looks like city plan, like some small district. The 4th floor with all the like 7 field of paddle, which is in fact the base of the tram, of the regularity of the columns. This is the largest surface, and so it's 10 meters by 20, and so all the building is about 10 meters by 10 meters. And the floor, the roof plan with the golf and the bar facilities. So the district around is not completed yet. It's everything is in construction. If you go there now, it's a bit more construct, but more or less it's like this. This picture is 1 year ago. And so for us, there was this question of how a building can discuss with the surrounding. Creating this outside space inside a building was an economic strategy for sure, but it was also the possibility to create this kind of moment where the facade is totally removed and totally open to outside. So the facade is built with a net, like agricultural net. It's one motorization for the 70 meters lines of the facade. So one motor for each facade, not more. and it creates this moment where all the circulation inside are visible, all the activity is visible, the in-plus activity, let's say, not the pure sport, but when you are training or do your, I don't know, your stuff, you are outside and linked with the surrounding. So there is a super regular tram structural and some space which are programmed. It's not superposed. Everyone have his own specificity, because sport is one of the program which you can't negotiate with the dimension of sport field. And around this there is some specific places like these tribes or these stairs going up, which is create the like an ascension, like for us it's like a urban moment that we can feel in an old city that we re-feel in this building, like regularity plus some exception. So we are on the third floor in a golf moment, and we are quite close to this net facade, which is black from outside, but from inside with a counter day, you see clearly to outside. And so the interest of this facade is clearly climatic one, because it's create like it's in the agricultural buildings. It's for wind. It's to stop wind. It stop more than 70% the wind, and so for the sport is something important. And so inside it's quite. I mean, during winter it's cold, but it's sports moment, so you can practice sport when it's cold. But you don't have this feeling of wind that can be difficult to deal with. It's also efficient with during summer because it stops all the sun, and it's also it was a longer study because there is also this fire constraints that if we don't want, for economic reasons, have a lot of machine to deal with the smokes and etc. It needs to be 50% open. So it's like there is a lot of holes and it's 50% open. But it creates this nice moment where you are protected inside, but you see clearly the outside. Sorry. So this first series of photos have been made by Maxime Delvaux, and a few months ago, our friends Antoine Espinasso came, and there was like the building started to live, like life, and so we were super surprising and interested to see all these people all around with the guys which was exercise themselves all around the building before practicing sport. And it's really pleasant to after all this engagement to see life in the building, but particularly on this building, which is about this, like showing the practice everywhere. So it's a bit more in construction, but still. Yeah, and depending on if the net is open or closed, it's the building totally, the entire building evolve depending of the situation, of the climate situation. So the second project is not sport one. It's an architectural school. It's a contest that we won like 8 years ago. We were so it's in Marseille. I don't know if you know the old school of Marseille, but it was in kind of a lost paradise, close to the sea, in a like some American campus typology, you know, far away from the city. And at the moment of they need to renovate this building, they took the decision to put him back in the center of the city. And we start our study over there. In fact, our 2 first years. And we were a bit interrogating ourselves because the building is super nice and super. It's a super nice moment to live, and it's a good building to learn architecture. But also putting the architectural school in the center of the city, we saw it like a political moment to bring back the school where we speak about the city. In the center was something that was also interesting for us. So it's 3 schools of urban design. In fact, there is like the School of Architecture, the School of Landscape, and the School of Urbanism. So 3 different schools, and so there is this goal to make this building speaking with the district, but also to let the 3 schools merge their students. And so we built 3 different buildings, but to mix the different functions. So 3 buildings, but not for 3 schools. One is dedicated for the common space, like administrations, a library, and etc. The first one. The second one is dedicated to research and experimentation, like a model workshop. And the third one is dedicated to the students, so students' workshop. So all the different school students are mixed. The different school functions are mixed in the different buildings. It's in the center of a city. It's in a patrimonial moment, and so we also had this question of. I mean, it's a school of architecture. As we used to learn over there, and it was a bit larger. We were young at this moment, and it was a big subject for us. And so and plus it's in a patrimonial surrounding. And so we discussed a lot with Jacques Lucan, which was part of the team, which is a researcher and an historian researcher. And at the end we found these references of Italian palazzo to speak of what could be regularity plus exception. And those ones have been made during time, so they evolve. So it's a clear, when you are far away, you see something super classic, super composed. When you look precisely on the different moments, you see that it was an old church which become a city town hall, yeah. And so you feel that you understand still how it was made, but from far away, it's something really composed. So we quite like the idea that a building can be read from far away, but it's different when you go plus proche, closer. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. So here you see the 3 buildings, which also is a bioclimatic strategy, because there is a lot of wind in Marseille, so it's the long building is stopping the wind. It's 13 meters deep, so all the students' workshop are open on each side, so you can do ventilation quite easily. The public building with all the large moment like a forum and library is 20 meters deep, so is a lot of inertia. And the research one is open. Is open to his. He have a different facade. So these 3 buildings create 3 different voids, which are also aligned with the topography of the site, which is 10 meters difference between the lowest point to the highest one, and each one have a different thematics, let's say. And so we had this sentiment that each building is different, each outside space are different, and we are trying to compose like a urban campus, like a small city moment. So here it's delivered right now. The students went like a year and a half, September last year. And we see the public building, the common one with the library, the research building on the left with his own exterior space, which is dedicated to experimentation. So the modeling workshop is on the ground floor, and all the facade can open to let the students go outside and like manipulate between inside and outside. And plus there is this canopy which protects the different model you are producing. Here is the students' building. So 30 rooms exactly the same size, 100 meters. So 13 meters deep and 8 meters large. And so in plan there is a lot of different moments, but also in facade there is some distinction. So the first floor and the fourth one, the third one is special because they have 6 meters ceiling high. So so here you can see that there is standard floor, and when you are in the library, it's a super high floor. So here's the ground floor, the more public, the forum, which is a kind of the moment where school discuss with outside, with they show the students' work. I mean, it's well, you know what's a forum in a school, I imagine. Like it's in the most public angle of the project. You have the entrance courtyard, the auditorium on the back, and the cafeteria on the left. So all the life of the most intense moment of the school is at the same level on the public ground floor. Here it's the second floor. It's like a generic one with all this student workshop of 100 meters aligned like that. But you can see that there is the structure, but also in dark lines, the partition wall, which are in wood and can evolve. So it's like a super strict system, but it can be removed, at least for the partition wall, to create a large room if the scolarity evolve. And on this special fourth floor, where we can find the library and a specific moment of the research, which is like a high room research dedicated to manipulation. We discuss a lot of what is research on architecture. In France, the researchers are oftenly in the back of a school. They are not visible. The students don't know what they are producing. And we believe that it was super important that they are in front, in the middle, and to create debate, to animate the school, because they are every day there. And this moment is a laboratory which is dedicated to research about materiality, which is clearly what is going to be important in the next years. So we thought that it would be nice that it's at this level, in the middle of an intense floor. And here the student workshop evolved. They are so super high, but also super large, because it's 1,200 square meters room with large door, which can create like a 3 or 4 room. And to link all this space, there is some bridges and I don't know the name. Sorry. So here is the forum, the auditorium on the ground floor, What I didn't say is that a specificity of the historical school of Marseille is that all the circulation was outside, and it let the students that we were to work between inside and outside. The circulation are really large, and so the classroom, depending of the weather that you also have over there, and because it allows this, and for us it was super Mediterranean way to learn, quite to practice your school, is to be in between inside and outside. So all the circulation at outside, and the workshop can open largely on this corridor, which is 3 meters large, and so it can really go over there. So here are the large workshop on the third level, and the library. To speak about structure, we have 2 main references. The first one was Palais d'Iéna from Auguste Perret in Paris, which is like a super strict buildings, super classical one, but which is in terms of structural super in advance on its time. So it's only columns, like structure is not a problem to make the building evolve, and it was before like exposition buildings, and now it's dedicated to I don't know the name in English, but I mean it changed of the occupancy changed largely, and this structure was adaptable and able to host a different kind of structure of programs. And so we believe it also because there is our concern to use the minimum of concrete, only what is necessary, and so we thought that punctual structure was the good response. And so there is this layer of only point structural, and in addition, some we call it like like when a building evolves bad in time because the conditions are difficult, we like protecting skin, which is made of 10 centimeters of concrete, as on the Villa Bezo from Le Corbusier in Carthage, and which can create the diversity of moments that I tried to explain before from the Italian palazzo. And so it can adapt of the different condition of the program, but also on the climatic condition. And so here you can see the 2 different concretes. The gray one, which is the structure, it's the structure, and the white concrete, which is only protecting skin, it's 10 centimeters. It's the minimum from a French regulation to produce concrete. You can do less. And it's it's protecting the insulation which is behind, which is in wood, with a wood panel to protect from inside. So from the main entrance, and so it's, as in Bordeaux, it's quite reconforting to see that students live more intensely the space than we try to work on. So we also work on the furnitures. It's the client it's a French Ministry of Culture. So it's the ministry which is in charge of architects, and they try to defend them. So it's the best client in France, I believe. And so they give us also the mission for the furniture, and we try to work on the furniture, which is the name of the project is IMVT, and we try to do it like IMVT furnitures, and so it's the same material that we use on the building, and the same dimension. So the wood of the table is the same that creates the partition wall. The steel is the same than the handrail, and it's a total building like in a early century when the architect was doing everything. We tried to do like a total building. So yeah, you see here the partition wall and the table, which have the possibility to become like a panel of for presentation. I don't have time, in fact, so maybe I'm too fast. So the third project is the arena that we delivered last summer for the Olympic Games. In fact, this map was done when we did the research about sport in Paris, so 10 years before, and it's a map which represents all the large sport facilities in Paris. There is only one soccer field in the center of Paris. All of them are on this perimeter, on this which is the highway. It's a peripheric, which is the highway which circle Paris. So we intervene on this moment of the city, because as it's an highway, it's delimit Paris, and it's create a big artificial limit between inside and outside. And you know when you are in Paris, you know when you are in Paris and when you are outside. And it's mainly because of this physical limit. So one of the questions was how to, and for sure the big question of Paris is how to blurry this limit and how to proceed to make it unclear and to let it grow in his urban substance. So we worked on these thematics with two artifacts. The first one is to say that the upper part of the building is the metropolitan part. It's speaking of all around. It's a round shape, no facade, no alignment, no direction. It's really speaking of where to all of to the context. And the two first floors are a more classical building, a Parisian typology aligned on this parcel. Like Paris is like an extrusion cake with cut by a street. It's like it's a super dense city with only street and buildings. There's not a lot of exterior spaces. So here we clearly see the alignment of the two first floor to the plot, and on top of it the circle. The site was quite difficult because it's with a lot of infrastructure. So the peripheric, the highway which is starting over there and going north of France, the trains which are on the left, the subway on the diagonal. So it's a really hard moment of a city, but we thought that and it's sure that sports usually are like a open, closed moment of a city, really like close to himself, not like a theater could be, which can be really feel like a public moment. And so we had the Opéra Garnier project as a reference to see that it can be considered like a theater, a new kind of theater. And so the two first floors are totally glass with a balcony on top of it, and this blind facade on top of it. So it's a complicated machine because there is a lot of gestion of flux and entrance of different people, different I mean, like sportive artists. You can imagine. But in plus of this, the particularity of this project is that there is two municipality equipment, so that we can see on this section. Which is on so it's the first one is a gymnasium, and top of it there is a gymnasium dedicated to soccer 5x5 with 700 people which can be looking at it. So, and in the middle, on the main terrace level, is a space which is sorry. It's a space which is dedicated to like restaurants and like which is open all the day. At the opposite of the arena, which is open only 5 hours every 3 days. This one is really a moment which is open from 10 to 11 in the night. So it creates a different kind of equipment dedicated to sport, because it's also open every moment of the day. So you see on the right the gymnasium, the municipality gymnasium, with all this problematic of the flux. And here is this restaurant moment, which is not a real restaurant. In fact, it can be everything. There is like a concert moment on the top of it. Some different restaurants. It's like a large courtyard, and with all this balcony moment around, which I can't point, which lets this space to go outside and have its own small plaza. So here is Opéra Garnier, and we refer to this because of this particularity of this typology, that the balcony is really part of the facade. The balcony is the moment where all the circulation of the opera. I don't know if you know it, but yes, there is a big stair inside, and then you return and you go to this balcony, and you are in front of the city, and then you go back to go to the main room. And so we try to redo this typology with all the circulation of the supporters or the public, which are open to the city. So when they go up the level, they feel the sentiment, the climate of the neighborhood. So this was a long competition. It was 6 months competition. So we did a lot of iteration. I show you because to see un peu what was the first intention and to see what it goes finally down. So from the beginning, so it's like a drawing we made like 2 weeks before read the brief, and it evolved finally to this picture, which is at the end almost built like it was planned to. So here is the facade, which is open to the peripheric, but the one on the infrastructure is exactly the same one than on the main public space, which is this one. And you can feel the 2 first floors with the alignment, and the upper part, which is more blind with this aluminium shells. So here we are on the peripheric. And so when you are in this distribution halls, you feel like you are in this part of Paris. Here is a soccer field, the main room, which is quite, I mean, it's a lot of yeah, they are all the same. And here from far away, you feel these 2 geometry speaking together and speaking with the surroundings. And so now it's living every. Well, I mean, it's a super intense building with a lot of shows, and it hosts like a sport events, but also concert and a lot of things. So it's really fun to have it, and our office is super close, so we feel the building every day. This project is in Brussels. We made it with Central, which are from Brussels. It's northwest of Brussels. I'm going to show it fast. In fact, it's an extension of a gymnasium, but with a complex program. It's in a urban district which is drawn by 51N4E. And they redo all the district, and and it's the same kind of project that I just showed to you, but it's really smallest scale, but there is this complexity of programmation. Each level is a different program, independent to each other. So it's like a big shelves with super different programmation. So on the first floor is like a logistic plus car park, but dedicated to all the area. On the first one is like a polyvalent room, like a municipality event room, like for weddings and extra. And on top of it is the gymnasium, and yeah. So the structure is quite simple, but each programmation have its own structure. So during the brief was also asked the possibility that the space evolve deeply. And for example, the fourth floor are in the metal, like they can be removed and reconfigured super easily. There is this table of concrete, and on top of it, the wood gymnasium. So a lot of technical complexity. It's up here super simple, but at the end we are trying to build it right now. So we feel the complexity of mixing the structures. But as for the other project, the circulation are mostly outside, and all the floor have this large balcony, which making the inside the link between inside and outside more blurry and more ambiguous, to create a building that is not composed but more like a machine dedicated to the district, to the area. So here in sections, different structure moments appear. Sorry. I thought I did. I will go a bit fast because I wanted to. So it's a project we done, a competition that we lost, but I will show you another competition that we lost instead. So it's yeah, it's the project so we made with Datae and Agencia Material for the FIRA, and so you probably know, all of you know the project which won. So it's a competition. We were super enthusiastic to work on this project, and we were what do you say? To lose was something really difficult, but I have to say that the project we won is nice. So it's not a comparison of the project. It's more to participate to the debate and show you all the work we've done and how nice it could have been. So the competition is like so you know it's an exposition place for the centenary of this universal exposition. The city want to redo, renovate all the pavilions, and we were so 3 different competitions at the same moment, and we were interrogate with Datae and Agencia Material on the number 2, which is the Palazzo of not Palazzo, Palais de Communication and Palais Multifunctional. So it's in a really patrimonial moment of the city, in between the Catalonia Museum and the Plaza España. No. Okay, I have to read I wrote it, in fact. And so the patrimonial prolongation was a big issue for us It's how to deal with an existing facade and how to. So what was nice in this competition is also that the city wanted to do the district evolve with this building project. So it was really what we try to work on our project, is how the building can participate to the evolution of the surrounding. So like urban architecture. And there is those question of patrimonial, how to deal with and how to create something coherent. And you can't add like for us, you can't add like a new typology totally different from what was there. And the program was in a way super simple. It's like a 3-room of 10,000 square meters. So a square room, 100 meters by 100 meters. Apparently super simple, but the size of it make it hard to deal with. It's 10 meters high ceiling, so it's a really large moment. And in plus of this, there is this negotiation, or I would say like a transition moment with outside, which is the entrance hall, the sun skin, the also offices, which was planned to be in prolongation of the district, which is on top of it. I don't remember the name. And working on this square plan was we found a lot of references of urban machine, like super open machine. There was this strong intention to do the most efficient place, because it's a exposition space, but also to deal with the quotidian life of the neighborhood, of the surroundings, and how can we mix this super organized or super efficient moment with the quotidian life of the surroundings. So here is the first floors. Here is the ground floor. So Plaza España is here. It's not Plaza España. See, yes, it is. A new street is produced in between the two palais, and the new evolution of the city on the upper part of the drawings. What is also nice is that the 3 rooms can be combined together, so they can work independently, each of them. So we need to deal with their access, but they also can be mixed together to create a super big event. And it's something, there is no in Europe such a exposition palace in the city. Usually they are far away from the center of the city, and so they don't participate to the evolution and the debate of the climate of the city. And here it was this question: how can we participate to the neighborhood, and to not create something which is only activate when there is an event, but which is activate all the day. So here you can see the 2 floors and the museum on the back. The street in between that we try to make like a climatic public space. When there is events which I don't know to conjugate my verbs, which were working together, it was like part of the exposition moment. But when it was independent, it was a public space with like a sun protection and a climatic moment. And as there is these 2 floors, the vertical linked is something super architectural. For us, it was important to make them appear quite easily. And so all the stairs and all the elevators are on this vertical moment, plus the restaurant, which is on 4 levels in between. And so as I show you on the arena, I put all the images that I have. So the first intentions, like to speak about machine, how it can be like a machine visible from outside. And it's at each project we were wondering with Claudie, Daniel, and Paul, how it can be in between the good moment where it's speaking of like a pure efficient machine and how it can be a public buildings. And so, yeah, each iteration is speaking of this. I mean, I believe. And at the end, so the structure was a big subject, also because there is only 4 columns on the ground floor and no columns on the first one. So it means like 100 meters room without columns. And so the vertical elements at the end were prolonged to up of the last slab with the cable to maintain the roof. And so it's at the same time the vertical circulation, but also the structural element of the roof. This one is and at the final images. So it's I believe I didn't saw really the project. I mean, I saw some pictures, and I believe it's really different from what we produce. So probably we missed something, but it was we were really proud for our position. Thank you.
Thank you all for the presentation. Now is the time for questions. Maybe your partners have a question. No?
Would you like to?
Well, your partners. I have a question. I haven't done any question in all the series. And at least from Spain, there is a new generation of French architects, like Couder, Moto, yourself, and Bast, that all of you have learned from Lacaton Basal, for sure. What is your relationship with Lacaton? No, I think you are very different, but what is the relationship with Lacaton? You know, or which is the importance of Lacaton Basal in France and the new architecture?
Yeah, you're right, for sure. I mean, especially us, part of us worked at Lacaton Basal to start, but we also worked with an office which is named l'AUC, Jamel Clouche, which is a urban designer, and the office was like on the same building, two level, yeah. And so we were two of us were working at 3 of us at l'AUC. One was working at Lacaton Basal, so we were super close, and we liked this mixing. What I was saying at the beginning, we like to mix these 2 scales, and so for us it was a super moment. And to respond, Lacaton Basal is clearly a link between Myoto, Brutter, and Bast, and us. Probably us is we have we are less rigorous than others are, and they can be. I mean, like Basal, they are super strict, and they go. The building is readable from the beginning to the end, and it's only one direction, and it's super strong and super efficient. And we are totally fascinated by these undrawing buildings, which are radical and political and etc. But I believe that on our part, we took a lot of them, but we mixed with also other consideration, and
So more Mediterranean in a way.
So what?
More Mediterranean in a way.
Yeah, probably more Mediterranean way to draw.
Okay, any other questions?
Here. So efficient as a machine, as you say. Thank you for your presentation. One of our challenges in cities is recuperate the diversity of the quality of spaces, as you show us before, and Peter Brugger's children's games. And how does your studio approach this kind of spaces or questions? And it makes me think about heterotopies or anomalies as Foucault's concepts, as you show in some kind of spaces in your buildings, in your public buildings.
Sorry, I didn't get the end of the question, but I will try to.
How is your approach for this kind of things, thinking about the diversity of the quality of space?
Yeah, for sure. It's I mean, like mixity of space, and it's part of our daily conversation. We don't build a lot of dwellings because we are at each time we try to overpass the programmation to not respond exactly of what the brief asks for, and we often lose the competition because of this. And but for public buildings, like I show you, this overpass moment is really more acceptable. I mean, maybe we didn't found the good formulas, huh? But and it's true that we always try to make it not only program equipment. And circulation for us is a really important moment of the buildings. We always put them as a facade. They are not like inside, like corridor. We put them outside to make them like make the building live visible from outside. And we also try to make them not the space we need, because I mean, I believe it's the same in all country, but in France, when you finalize your competition, you give an Excel sheet with you have all your entire square meters aligned, and if you give more than expected, the client says, okay, it will cost more, and there are probably reason, but we can construct differently. And so our tricks was to say that the exterior space are not part of this Excel sheets, and so we can build them really larger than expected and what they ask for. And so usually we try to work with these tricks to make them not linear circulation, but like sometimes narrow, sometimes large, sometimes program, sometimes with bench, with water, and to create this city moment inside the building. I give us our magic tricks. I give you, sorry. Gave you, okay. Nothing is good. My sentence.
¿Más preguntas?
But we lose every competition. No? Don't practice with.
I have a short question, and it's about one image that you show us about a project from Le Corbusier, and I want to know how important is the work of Le Corbusier in your projects, because I feel that these 5 points of architecture, it's in your projects, I think, and I want to know if it's how is that.
I'm not sure of the horizontal window, but I mean, we are from Marseille. We started our study in Marseille, and Cité Radieuse was, I mean, it's, for Marseille, it's an important moment, and for the students, every Wednesday we were drawing every site. But I believe I mean, for sure, the clarity of the structure is something important, and make it independently of the partition wall is something really strong. I mean, it infuses our production for sure. But what we like in the Villa in Carthage from Le Corbusier, and on a lot of his project, is that he do rules, but with a lot of exception. And there is this, I don't know, DIY bricolage, a bit non-high-tech architecture that we like a bit more unstable how it's built, and so yeah, for sure we are influenced by Le Corbusier, but not with, I believe, not exactly the 5 points.
¿Una pregunta más? Bueno,
So thank you. I think so. You've explained a lot from the performance of the building, no? So all the time you're talking about how you make a strong effort to, and you struggle how to place the different programs so that they shape in different ways as they were conceived, probably during the competitions, right? So then I think, okay, so the architecture is a performance in your case, but I miss in your, so in the explanation, something about materiality. So, because for example, in La Fira, which is a super huge structure, I think, what about refurbishing, no, and repurposing? Was that a possibility? Because we are in this moment that we have to think about new materialities in architecture, no? So all your buildings are concrete. What does this concrete mean for you?
No, for sure, it's a daily question. In the case of Fiera, we looked at the possibility to refurbish the existing building, but it was totally not possible, in fact. I mean, the program can't fit on what they built, on what was built, and it was, yeah, no, I mean, they didn't let us the possibility to work on it because we didn't have plan, we didn't have nothing, and they wanted to make it done. And it was, in fact, it was not adapted to what they want. We try to work on the how to deal with this material, and the big guys, the big vertical elements was synced as what do you know? How do you say like when you reuse the concrete existing, like mixed concrete, and then you create a new one, and to respond to what is behind your question about the use of concrete, we totally agree, but also we believe that it's a long evolution that we are making on the architect, and we are not alone. There is the economy, there is where the material are coming from. For example, wood is not always the good solution. I mean, in terms of calculation for sure, but when you look at it precisely, sometimes you need concrete to make it more rigid, and so you can build the same building with less concrete, because we are quite sure that we need to count exactly the amount of concrete we are using in our building, like the really what is needed. It's not an aesthetic moment, it's more what is needed. And And also there is there is a lot of parameters, and the climate sensation is something also important. And for example, the School of Architecture, the engineers in charge of the climate told us we need to put the concrete more visible possible because it will create this free cooling effect during the night, which is and so a lot of combination. The School of Architecture is also a public equipment. They do have money to build it, but not at all to make the maintenance every day. And so they want something super durable, something which, it's understandable. Architectural students are improving their buildings. And so it needs to be durable because they won't have the money to make it, like offices that we can cross in the street. And for example, in the School of Architecture, all the inside walls are in wood, and all the exposed facade is in concrete or glass. But it's like it shows that we had to do with the reality of this equipment in the center of Marseille, in a district which is super popular, and So I'm for sure our project will evolve with the society.
¿Alguien más? Bueno, antes de subir a tomar la cervecita, como siempre, deciros que también tenéis ahí unas publicaciones de NP2F. Hay una mejor que otra, hay que dar cosa. Y nada, pues daros las gracias a todos por venir a este ciclo. La verdad es que la intención era que reunir a la gente alrededor de una charla, que era un formato que yo creo que con la pandemia se perdió mucho y yo creo que está visto que funciona, que los arquitectos expliquen su obra en directo. Y creo que ha sido un ciclo muy poco tendencioso. O sea, ha habido gente como muy de todos los palos y han hablado de belleza, de estructura, de lo efímero, de la poética, de lo genérico y de muchas cosas, ¿no? Y cada uno ha hablado, pero siempre desde la calidad. Agradecer de nuevo al colegio, especialmente a Inés y a Gemma, que las tenemos aquí y que hablarán dentro de un ratito, la confianza de hacer el ciclo, y después a Àngels Fortea y Gemma Molas, porque lo organizan todo muy bien, y a Bernat Girot, que está por aquí, por el fantástico diseño gráfico del ciclo. Y ahora os pasamos a Gemma Ferré y que dirá unas palabras desde el colegio.
Thank you very much for the lecture. It's been impressive. Només aprofitar que us tenim a tots aquí. La veritat és que és xulíssim veure la sala tan plena i com ha estat tots aquests dies. Tenim des de l'equip de cultura i des del col·legi, la veritat és que estem molt preocupats per voler que els joves estiguin aquí amb nosaltres, al col·legi. Estem intentant fer diverses accions i us volíem explicar algunes coses que estem treballant ara i que tindrem en breu. Per un costat ja surten les bases del nou quaderns. Al quaderns nosaltres, quan vam arribar, hi havia un concurs anterior que no s'havia tirat endavant. Vam fer l'esforç econòmic per tirar endavant els projectes que teníem pendents i ara, enguany, ja acabem els 2 últims números i el compromís era tirar endavant el nou quaderns. Aquest quaderns, una de les voluntats també és que sigui una veu jove i tenir-vos a vosaltres també perquè pugueu parlar i teniu una eina per explicar la nova arquitectura. Dir-vos això, doncs, que les bases de quaderns surten en breu, ja, i que el 27 de juny és la data límit per rebre les propostes. Per tant, esperem que us animeu a formar equip i a presentar-nos coses. Què més? Dir-vos el Call for Papers del Congrés de la UIA, que també s'ha llançat fa pocs dies i que ja està anunciat a la pàgina web i, si no ho dic malament, fins al 23 de maig es poden rebre les propostes que formaran part del Congrés. Què més, Inés?
Sí, més coses, us posem allò, perquè aneu posant coses a l'agenda ara que teniu lliures els dijous. El 15 de maig hi ha la presentació dels Premis AJAC. Per tant, també convocatòria aquí, que no podeu fallar. Són els premis, també hi ha els premis PFC, en aquest cas a més molt contents perquè li hem donat un tom a la cosa i hem rebut 90 propostes de PFCs per premiar. A l'octubre tindrem la Bienal AJAC, vull dir que això ja no para, i de cara a l'any que ve, a banda del Congrés, aniran passant coses tot l'any, segur, coses que tenen a veure amb el Congrés i amb visites d'arquitectes internacionals, però també estem preparant, encara estem acabant-ho de definir, però sí que tornarem a fer un cicle amb un format semblant, però potser amb una mirada més local. Però això ja us ho anirem explicant properament. I ja està, ara sí ja no, la cervecita. I moltes gràcies a tots una altra vegada i fins ben aviat.